Hey, this is Alex again with the Caddis Fly Shop. I'm here to tie a fly called a four-eyed fly. We use this down on the marsh in Venice, Louisiana, and the Biloxi Marsh. Very interesting little fly. It's kind of a variation of a purple and chartreuse paddle tail grub that people use spin fishing. Well, let's get started here. What I'm putting into the vise right now is a 60-degree round jig bend hook by Gamakatsu. And I'm going to be using 6/0 uni thread. I like it for a lot of reasons, especially for when I apply eyes onto a fly. The stuff doesn't have wax to it, so it's a little bit more of a grit or tooth. And I really like that when it comes into getting eyes secure. I just notice it's more, they don't move as much, and you can really get them on there nice and tight. Okay, I'll trim my tag in. So where I kind of want my eyes, I'm going to do 2 thread dams, where I just kind of, what it is, I make kind of 2 bumps. So I'm going to do one there, come up and do one there. I'll kind of show you. It's probably really hard to see on camera. But let me turn my vise towards the camera. You can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So I have these 2 kind of thread bumps. It almost looks like a little ant. What that does is I'm going to take, kind of why we call this fly this, is it's 4 bead chain. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a bead chain that instead of 2 you use 4. So it kind of does a couple cool things by doing that. It adds a rattling kind of effect to your fly, and it helps it turn over this big hook without adding a ton of weight to it, which is great when you're stalking redfish in a shallow environment. It really makes things a lot easier. And so those eyes are already pretty in there, very, they're nice, tight, and snug. So that's what we want here. So then I'll bring this down the shank of the hook, and I always try to coat the shank of a hook when I'm tying any fly. The reasoning is behind that is it just makes things stick to it better when I wrap stuff around this hook. This is extra select chartreuse craft fur. I'm going to take a very generous chunk of this stuff here. I always cut it down as close as I can to the rind. I'll take this floof out the back. Sometimes that floof can be used for other things. It makes really cool dubbings. So it's not necessarily always trash. So with this fly, I'm going to do 2 hook shanks worth. So I'll do one there and then kind of bring it there. So then this tail kind of comes out a little further. Kind of gives it a shrimp kind of popping action to it. Let's tie that stuff in there pretty tight. All right. Then I'm going to take an Enrico Puglisi Woolly Critter 0.5 brush in black and purple. Kind of has a little bit of red flash to it too, which is always good to start getting fish angry. So I'll take one of these whole brushes out of here. And this kind of acts like a feather. So I'll kind of tie a tip in. And I'll wrap that whole twisted wire on the hook there. Just makes it easier for it to work with. But, I'm only, a little bit of this goes a long way. So what I'm about to do is just wrap it once, kind of come down, kind of tease those fibers back, do 2, tease them back, 3, 4, and see, naturally, the first couple of times I was tying with this stuff, I just wanted to sit there and just wrap it like a chenille, but it just kind of creates too much, junk. And it just doesn't, you're just wasting your material just because there's so much EP fiber packed into here. It really, makes the fly, bushy. Kind of. There's some little span flex legs in here, which is something I always really like with any fly. It just looks buggy, and fish tend to not like it. And then I will grab a 3-inch craft fur brush in purple and black. And this brush is similar to the one I was just tying with, but it's spun with EP fibers and craft fur. The reason I like tying with this stuff is the durability of the brush keeps your flies kind of intact better than if I were just to tie all this stuff straight on the hook. And it's easy. It's easy to make a really pretty looking fly without having to have it be very, multi-step process. And so I'll tie this in tip first, just like I said, it's like tying in a feather. And I'll take this whole brush and wrap it about 2 or 3 times. So I'll do 3 on this one, give it a, make them really, actually I'll take 1 out because it's a little too much. This can be a really popular fly to tie for these fish, for these redfish, or this is a great bass bug too for those who chase smallmouth. I use a rust, that orangutan orange, tan and pink. Just kind of thinking of your shrimp colors. That's kind of what this fly moves like and emulates. Not obviously this color combination here. One thing I'll add, and I about just forgot this, is I'll pull that brush real tight and then tie it off, because sometimes you really gotta wrap that brush hard on there. It kind of wants to come apart on you, and that's no bueno. I'll do a couple safety wraps here, and then I will tie this off up front. Super fun fly. The 4 bead chain is kind of a cool thing I picked up in the Midwest, and it's just kind of a unique little thing to add to a fly. I'll do a double whip finish. And there you have it, the 4-eyed fly.